Good morning. Rise and freedom. How's everybody doing today? I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. It's Friday, baby. Everybody's in a good mood, right? Of course, Freedom Family Friday. You know what that means? To my left, the lovely, smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wifey, super pregnant, Stuffy Peterson. What's up, Stuffy? How you doing?
Super.
You survivor.
I survived COVID.
You survived COVID-19 while being pregnant. She's amazing. Congratulations.
So excuse me today if I cough a little bit or if I have a cough drop in my mouth. I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm feeling much, much better.
Picked up the disease, the China flu, and maybe we got it when we were in Chinatown.
Probably got it from a mask-wearing San Francisco resident. There were so many of those, and I was staring at all of them, and now they're probably like, haha, you got COVID, I didn't.
Yeah, well, maybe we got it because we were literally in Chinatown, right? It is the China flu.
We were like an authentic Szechuan restaurant. They're probably like, ooh, American people give COVID in food. Yeah, you thought that hot pot was great? There was COVID in there.
We're totally gonna get canceled for this one. No.
China did not cause COVID.
No, it was not. It came from a wet market when the pangolin kissed a turtle.
It came from bats and soup, right?
It came from bat soup, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted us to believe for a little while, to cover Anthony Fauci's ass. Anyways, we're not talking about Anthony Fauci. We're talking about another dictator this morning. Good morning, good morning. And since it's Freedom Family Friday, you know who else we got on the show today?
Baby P for Liberty.
Well, yes, obviously our baby is in your womb, but
P for Liberty is going to be a permanent fixture now.
Yeah, Justin will be here with us at 8 a.m. Justin Peterson, my brother, he's going to talk to us at 8 o'clock. We're looking forward to hearing from him. What are we going to talk to Justin about?
We're going to talk about Larry David attacking Elmo.
And Will Wheaton freaking out. Did you read Will Wheaton's email, like the tweet that he posted?
Read the tweet, just a little excerpt where he was being really sensitive about it.
Yeah, I know you're not into like geek culture, but Will Wheaton played.
Yeah, I don't know him. Who
he
is
was
he?
on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I didn't watch.
Right, I totally did. I was a huge Star Trek fan as a kid.
I was too busy watching Teen Mom.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's okay. Star Trek was a little bit earlier than that, so early '90s, late '80s. So you were
watching Road Rules and MTV music videos.
Rugrats and things like that.
Yes.
You were like a baby, little wee baby when Star Trek: The Next Generation was a thing. So anyway, so Will Wheaton played a character in that, and has apparently done other things in culture. I don't know, and I don't give a rip, but I just am laughing because he was really upset about Larry David choking Elmo. And while this isn't the big story of the day, it is a fun story. I know, you know what the big stories are. The number one big story is, I think it's actually not Vladimir Putin being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. I have to say that's a number two story. Number one story, Joe Biden, the White House, the special counsel had to admit that in order to exonerate Joe Biden of wrongdoing in this classified documents case, that of documents that were found at his house, like they were with Donald Trump.
In his garage next to a dog cage.
Yeah. In order to exonerate them, they had to acknowledge that he's basically retarded.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of this whole report. I'm very confused by it. So we'll talk more about that.
Well, we've got the NBC story on it, the mainstream media, like play-by-play, and then we've got the reactions to it, and then we'll react to the reactions to that, and it'll be a great show. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Vladimir Putin Tucker Carlson interview, which I honestly thought was going to be the big story today.
I really wanted to watch it with you. Last night we were watching Gatsby, and then I was like, oh my gosh, is the Tucker Carlson interview out?
It dropped right when I was doing that other podcast, which ended up being super annoying yesterday. We like it was just this 2-hour long like philosophical like circle jerk tradcons trying to like prove that I was like a Marxist somehow because I don't believe in their particular God.
Do you even know what a fallacy is?
Do you know what a fallacy is? Do you know what humanism? What define humanism? And it's just like
define a right. Is there a right in your brain?
I don't believe that there's such a thing as rights, only duties. And it's just like Jesus Christ. But some
Get
people,
a life.
but some some people like to listen to that shit. I guess I don't. It's not for me. Like they had 300 people watching it last night, so that's a good size audience. I'll give him that. But I just frankly find like the TradCon versus libertarian debates, like eventually it's just like, eventually it's like, at one point, like, it's like you're arguing with children to some extent, right? Because at one point they were like, they said, well, Austin, like, how are you you say you're a revolutionary, that you believe in a revolutionary philosophy, but how can you say you're revolutionary when the public education system is set up to teach everything that you believe? And I'm like,
So apparently you like teaching children about being trans
right,
and
yeah, I
giving them
guess,
pronouns.
right, but it's the dumbest. I've heard some dumb arguments in this time,
Uh-huh.
but listen, if there are any public schools that are teaching secular libertarianism, like sign me up. Let me know if
The
anybody out
Ron
there
Paul
knows.
homeschool program, right?
Well, that's what we're going to have to do. Unfortunately, we're going to have to homeschool our kids, right? But if there are public schools out there that are teaching kids to be secular, agnostic, humanist, libertarians, please let me know. But the truth is that public educations, they're making kids into true believers, right? They have a lot more in common with the tradcons that I was arguing against last night, because the tradcons, of course, they believe in a revealed truth that's handed down from them from heaven, right?
Right.
That's the revealed truth. And Marxists believe that the revealed truth was handed down to them from Karl Marx, and that the government is God, right? So government schools aren't churning out skeptical agnostics like me. They're churning out true believers whose one true God is the government, right? So
So they just have different gods.
they
The
have different
tradcons
the
have a different
tradcons have a
god than
different
the public
gods.
schools.
Right. They all bow down to the omnipotent state at the end of the day.
They're all
Anyways,
weak.
just like Joe Biden. Anyways, if anybody has any public schools out there that are teaching kids to be skeptical, free thinking, libertarian, agnostic, secular humanists like me, please let me know. Sign me up, because I'll sign my kid up for that public school so goddamn fast your head will spin. And speaking of head spinning, Joe Biden, take a listen to the NBC report of the commander in chief's mental health.
The long-awaited report by special counsel Robert Hur concludes that no criminal charges against President Biden are warranted. But the investigation uncovered evidence that President Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials after his vice presidency when he was a private citizen, including marked classified documents about Afghanistan and notebooks with sensitive intelligence sources and methods, which he shared with a ghostwriter. The report says that posed serious risks to national security. And at a time when polls show most Americans have concerns about the 81-year-old president's mental and physical health, the special counsel's report offers scathing details of what it calls his diminished faculties and faulty memory. Writing, if charged, Mr. Biden will likely present himself to the jury, as he did during his interview with our office, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. It would be difficult to convince a jury they should convict him. According to the report, Mr. Biden did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended, and forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. He did not remember, even within several years, when his son Beau died.
All right, pause there for just a moment. Okay, so obviously those are some major questions there. So he didn't remember when he was vice president. He didn't remember when his term started. And one of the most significant moments in President Joe Biden's life was the death of his son.
I would imagine so.
Back when he was still lucid, Biden was talking about that all the time, and the fact he couldn't remember even within several years when his son Beau died. So, for the love of God, like, this is the guy who is the leader of the free world.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely doesn't have a good idea of time.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I mean, how can you be the president of the United States? I mean, and there was this situation where he was talking about somebody that he talked to that had died years ago, right? The president of France.
He keeps getting these presidents mixed up. He was talking.
Take a listen to this.
Guilty. You know, right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. It was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said,
he's dead.
Yeah.
Said, you know, why, how long are you back for?
And
And I looked at him.
back on
Yeah,
Earth.
the guy died in 1996, and he had left office in 1995. So, I mean, we're talking way back. This guy had died, and the president had no idea, and he'd been gone for that long.
I wonder if he used to talk to that president back in the day.
Maybe. I mean, Joe Biden's been a senator since what? This 1970s? I mean, he's been around for a very long time.
So they're probably old friends.
Right. So, here's Peter Doocy asking Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, about it.
How is President Biden ever going to convince the 3/4 of voters who are worried about his physical and mental health that he is okay, even though in Las Vegas he told a story about recently talking to a French president who died in 1996?
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you,
What-
sir.
what is
We're
the
going to
rabbit
go.
hole?
Go ahead.
He said
go
he
ahead.
talked to Mitterrand.
Go ahead. You saw the president in Vegas, in California. You've seen the president in South Carolina. You saw him in Michigan. I'll just leave it there. Go ahead.
Bro, he is not well. He is clearly not well, and the guy is in charge of an entire country. Last night, in order to respond to this special counsel report, they actually trotted him out. Listen to his response
For
last night
months
to
when
this.
you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is
this
your
according
judgment.
to public
That is
polling.
not
They
the
expressed
judgment of the
concerns-
press.
They express concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer
Because
to
I'm the
that
most
question?
qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
He is in
Oh,
big trouble.
boy.
The Democrats are freaking out.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm even really interested to know what's going to happen next. If Gavin Newsom is going to stand up and say, I'm going to run now.
I mean,
I'm the hero.
even Donald Trump has come out and said he doesn't think that he's going to be running against Joe Biden this fall, right? So all of this started because there was a special counsel that had criminal charges investigating into his handling of classified documents. Okay.
Right. Now, the thing that confuses me, because I was like, okay, here, as a social worker, I know very little about a mental status exam, but I did learn slightly about it.
Mhm.
I know that a doctor has to do a mental status exam when they're trying to evaluate someone's competency. So I'm like, this special counsel guy, he's an attorney. So was there a doctor that evaluated Biden for this report?
In an interview with
That's what I'm confused
So
about.
this is from the special counsel report. It says, in an interview with our office, Mr. Biden's memory was worse. He did not remember when he was vice president, forgetting on the first day of the interview when his term ended. He said, if it was 2013, he said, when did I stop being vice president? And forgetting on the second day of the interview when his term began. He says, in 2009, am I still vice president? He did not even remember within several years when his son Beau died. This is directly from the report. And his memory appeared hazy when describing the Afghanistan debate that was once so important to him. Among other things, he mistakenly said he had a real difference with General Carl Eikenberry, when in fact, Eikenberry was an ally who Mr. Biden cited approvingly in his Thanksgiving memo to President Obama. In a case where the government must prove that Mr. Biden knew he had possession of the classified documents after the vice presidency and chose to keep those documents knowing he was violating the law, we expect that at trial his attorneys would emphasize these limitations in his recall. In other words, if this case had gone forward, it would have hinged entirely on an argument that the president's people would have made that he is incapable of remembering these kinds of details accurately.
Now, in terms of this case, so these documents were found a few years ago, right?
Yes.
So the thing I'm confused about is if they're evaluating his mental capacity now, when you do an evaluation of competency, it's in this moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
It can change in 5 minutes from now. So they didn't evaluate his competency back then when he messed with these files. So we really can't prove if he was competent or not years ago because we probably don't have an evaluation of that. So we can't say because he's incompetent now, he was incompetent then. He may not have been. That's why I'm like,
Well, you know,
what?
listen, we can go back and forth on this all day long, but at the end of the day, even if, you know, he may be, he may not be, it doesn't matter. The perception is that he is, and not just on his political opponents, people like us who don't want to see him be the president anymore.
Right.
His own people are out there now saying, red alert, fire alarm. I mean, they're running around screaming with their heads are cut off this morning. Chickens with their heads cut off.
Right.
CNN.com this morning. Biden tries to rest age concerns, but may have exacerbated them. New York Times, political disaster, right? These are people who are saying, these are people who are on his side who do not want these kinds of stories to come out. Special counsel backs no charges. Biden shouts at reporters, confuses Mexico with Egypt. I mean,
right. It's like, it's clear that there's something to be very, very concerned about. But for me as a voter, what I would want to see is proof from a doctor that they did a formal mental status
you're never going to
exam.
see that.
I want to see that.
I mean, you can do it. You can poop in one hand and wish in the other, and we'll see which one fills up first.
Because I know that the media makes things into huge things, right?
Well, yeah,
and they make all these claims. There's really no facts.
But the media is largely owned by the left. Here's our buddy Nigel Farage of the UK commenting on it.
Well, it's cruel on us too. I mean, the man's got senile dementia. I've been saying that for some months. Oh, don't be so beastly, Nigel. No, he's got senile dementia. He's not just the leader of America. He's the leader of the free world. And under his tenure, many of these awful things around the world have happened. Doesn't mean it's all his fault, but he is clearly totally incapable of the job. And I don't agree with you, Stephen. I don't think it will be a Trump-Biden runoff. I think they'll ditch him before the Democrat convention takes place in July. I think.
And so that's really the question. The political question here, Stephanie, is will the Democrats dump Biden before this fall? Did you? You probably didn't see this, but James O'Keefe did an investigation that dropped last week where he interviewed someone who worked in technology under the administration and admitted that they all think that Joe Biden has senile is demented.
I mean, that's the other thing that makes me cringe. I mean, okay, I'm a mental health professional, okay? So this is probably why I'm a little bit more picky than others.
Go ahead, yeah.
But it's like, in order to diagnose someone with senile dementia, you need a whole panel of doctors. You know, you need like an MRI, neurology report, a physical exam, a psychiatrist exam. I mean, like, you can't just be like, okay, this guy has senile dementia because I asked him a few questions and he couldn't remember things. Like, we can't make those claims.
Yes, we can. And we're going to do it all the time. And if for those
it's just it's like generalizing something very much. Just being like, oh, because of this little information I have, I can make this huge statement.
Not absolutely everything has to be checked off by a mental health professional in order for it to be confirmed. Like, you don't like not everybody can afford that.
Something that happens in your brain that you have to prove is going on.
We've heard reports of like him. You know what a sundowner is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've heard reports that he wanders around the White House naked at night,
right?
And that he takes his clothes off and he wanders around. He doesn't know where he is. His favorite food is ice cream. What do they give? Why do they give people who are dementia patients ice cream?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never heard of that.
It's supposed to help their memory.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
The cold is supposed to do. You know how like you get brain freezes? They think that that there's something in the ice cream that helps to stimulate their brains.
I guess I'll be eating more ice cream then during my pregnancy because I learned that I have less valuable brain cells during pregnancy. We're going to get to this.
All right, I got to cut you off, Stephanie, because we got to reset. And the reason I have to remind people who we are and what we are is because Rumble has featured us on the front page today.
Oh my gosh. They love our expertise talking about Biden.
I think they just happened to find us because rumble.com has gifted us with a blessing today. Thank you for the blessing, Rumble.
Thank you, Rumble.
We appreciate you very much. 1,100 people watching us live. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you're wondering who we are, I'm Austin Peterson. This smoking hot, redheaded libertarian lady sitting over here to my left is my wife, Stephanie Peterson. Stephanie, nice to see you.
Good morning, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yes, like, subscribe. Click that like button and subscribe and share us with your friends. I know that for many of you who are new, you're probably a little skeptical about who we are and what we're all about. We consider ourselves to be liberty-loving Americans, very pro-America, very pro-freedom. Fridays is a different kind of a format of the show. So if you're watching us for the first time today, today's show that we normally do is different than what we normally do. We stream this show live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So I hope that if you like the content today, you'll come back and you'll join us on the regular. Today is Friday, and we have a little bit more fun. We call it Freedom Family Friday, which means my wife joins me on the show, and my brother, Justin Peterson, will be joining us live from Boston this morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. So that's why we call it Freedom Family Friday. And we actually have 4 Peterson family members who are on the show today because the lovely Stephanie P. is pregnant.
For those of you who just joined, you just learned a lot about our family.
Well, it's Freedom Family Friday, so you might know who we are. We're a bunch of freedom lovers. We're a family. We try and keep things positive. I consider us to be very white-pilled. So if you're the type of person who's tired of all the gloom and the doom and the end of times and the fall of Western civilization from your right-wing media, then you're in the right place, because we are very much people who look to the bright side of things. We're very optimistic. Part of it, I think, is because obviously we're starting a family. So we're working to make the world a better place for our kids. And if
No
that's
matter how much people tell us that having a kid is horrible, we're just pushing on through with our positivity.
I mean, people are just always trying to bring us down and deluge us with their dismal news. And Stephanie, you're going to be so sick, and you're going to have hormone problems, and you're going to get torn up, and it's just going to be awful. You guys are never going to sleep, and it's going to be terrible. And it's like, okay, it's fine. But what about the miracle of life? What about the beauty and the joy of fatherhood, right? What about seeing my wife, my beautiful wife in labor, giving birth to my child, who I've craved to be the father to my entire life? What about all these wonderful things? Can we focus a little bit on the positives? If that's you and you like what you're hearing right now, you're in the right place. If that's not you, if you like death and distraction and disaster and people saying curse words all the time and calling people awful names and trying to destroy one another all the time, then we're probably not for you. But we can't be for everybody, can't please everybody. We're a little bit more happy go sunny, like the Brady Bunch of libertarianism.
Yeah.
Think I'll go for a walk outside now. Summer sun's calling my name. I hear you now, just can't stay inside all day. I gotta get up, give me some of those rays. Everybody's smiling, sunshine day. Everybody feels so happy and gay.
We're going to have the Partridge Family.
Yeah. Anyways.
We'll sing.
I don't want to scare everybody off, because we do have a whole lot of people watching us, but please do it
for Biden.
Do us a favor, click like and subscribe to the channel. You can text the show and let us know what's on your mind anytime, night or day, at 573-319-1586. See that text line that's right there underneath us? You can use that text line and communicate with us and maybe have your text read on air. So there you go. Okay, so here's this interview with that James O'Keefe did with a member of the Biden administration, Charlie Krager, and even who's in the administration, is confirming what I'm saying. Take a listen.
So you're pretty high up in the government.
Yeah, I'm fairly high up. I'm good at keeping secrets, and so I manage 2 federal agencies, the State Department and USAID.
So when you say it's like security, like you're protecting
the networks of the federal agencies that you give all your information to.
The mission is to protect information.
And we are like the president's voice when we go into meetings in terms of discussing and promoting the president's priorities.
Is he going to be the nominee?
Yes. And she will be the vice president nominee.
Yeah, I don't.
There was a debate about removing her from the ticket, but sadly they didn't. She can't keep black staff. They quit on her in mass.
But with him, I know. He's got dementia.
Yeah, well, he's definitely slowing down.
Well, they know that he has those issues.
I think so.
But they're not willing to say it.
Shows it. And
they're not willing to say it publicly.
And same thing
but
with
why
Kamala
not?
Harris. She's not popular, but you can't remove the first black lady to be vice president from the goddamn presidential ticket.
That's a hidden mic. Did she know that she was heard?
It's a guy.
Oh my, I'm sorry. I was only listening to the voice. I'm so sorry.
That's a man, baby.
Oh, wow. It was just a little bit of a higher voice there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Sorry about that.
so have you ever heard the term honeypot? You know what honeypot is?
I've heard it, but I don't really know what it
So
is.
it's like a female spy, right? So she
Okay.
honeypots. It's like a pot of honey. Like, oh, she's beautiful, so she like sucks him
So
in.
was there like another gay man trying to
No,
flirt
well,
with?
James O'Keefe was the one who was there, who was
Okay.
doing this.
I'm sorry, you couldn't see any of the
no,
video.
no, it's okay. But it was James O'Keefe who was interviewing this guy, not a woman, and so we say that when it's a guy doing it, it's not honeypot, it's a honey dick.
Oh, goodness.
He dicked him.
Oh, man. People need to watch what they say.
I mean, he sat down. This has got to be like a first date or something, right? Because and he's like, my job is to keep the secrets.
I know. He's like, I keep secrets. Oh, here, let me give you a secret.
Yes, and then to buttress my support of my argument there, he is confirming that Joe Biden is demented, and they believe it. His own people.
So mad. We need not use the word demented until we have proof.
He's
people.
demented.
Stop it. You can just say he has some signs of confusion. Okay, I think that's valid.
Yes. Well, he has what appears to be dementia. I can at least say that, right? What appears to be
symptoms,
signs of dementia.
With dementia.
Stop simping for the Biden administration, Stephanie. Stop it.
Just like to be as logical as possible about the things I hear in the news, because I know that the news likes to stir things up during campaign season.
You're right.
And guess where we are, campaign season.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of campaign season, I was thinking about this last night, is that we're going to have to be a lot more careful on social media, not on Rumble, but I've been seeing like the censorship and the bans and the suppression has started. Like, we're going to have to be real careful what we post online this year. Like we have free speech to an extent on Twitter, and we have free speech here on Rumble, but we're going to have to be super careful about anything we post on Meta, right? Anything like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
Because they're always like, is that an actual fact? Are you spreading misinformation?
Well, here's the thing. It could be a fact, but it doesn't matter if it's a fact. They're gonna flag it for being out of context.
Right.
So anything that has to do with like election security, election fraud, or anything like that we can talk about that on Twitter and on Rumble, but it's better to just not talk about it on Meta or TikTok, because they're just never going to let you do it. Right.
Right.
So
now my other question is, you might know more about this because you did run for president. Is there some sort of fit test in order to run for president, or can anybody run for president no matter what their mental health is like?
Yeah, anybody can, right?
Okay.
I mean, essentially it is the will of the people, right? If enough delegates from enough state conventions give their electoral votes to a certain person, then that person will become president of the United States, regardless of.
He legitimately can run.
Yeah. Joe Biden can. Well, what's funny is that you see these people going out and saying that, Joe Biden should step down or step aside. No, you idiots. Like, Joe Biden is actually the best chance that the Republicans have to win this fall.
Okay. All of you Republicans out there, if you're smart, you would just try to, go along with this news and just be like, yes, Biden is demented. Biden is demented.
Yes.
And then, more people will vote for Republicans. So
yes,
just keep going with this agenda here.
You want Joe Biden to be the nominee at this point. If you want Donald Trump to win, if you want Republicans to win this fall, then you want Joe Biden to be the nominee. I mean, that's just the reality. It's 7:30, so we're about to switch topics and talk about the Vladimir Putin Tucker Carlson interview. But before we do, Stephanie, we are always debuting new products over at our AP for Liberty shop website.
Oh, we sure are. We're always creating.
We're always creating new things. Stephanie and I really love to create merch for our shop. It's a really important part of how we monetize this show. And how we're able to keep in business and to do this show 5 days a week and to keep, spreading content, spreading the good vibes, and talking about, news and bringing you interviews and things like that, keep you entertained and informed in the mornings. So apforlibertyshop.com helps us to not only to keep the show alive, but it also helps us to serve the public. And one of my favorite product lines that we have over at apforlibertyshop.com is very popular is our Founding Flavors coffee.
I know. You drink it every single day. I make it for you every single night.
I drink it every day. Madisonian Morning is our newest coffee flavor. And we've only made a few sales this week. And I think it's a lot of people that they've tried all of the regular flavors that we have. But I really want to encourage people to try this new one because, one, ask yourself this. Do you like caffeine? Are you the type of person, do you drink coffee just for the flavor or do you drink it because you like the caffeine too? Because if you're like me, I'm a bit of a coffee snob. I like it for the flavor and for the caffeine. And if you're a caffeine lover, then light roast is the way to go. The new Madisonian Morning, when I went through and was taste testing all of our coffees that we were going to sell in the shop, this one got 5 stars. So it was like 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. Madisonian Morning, which I've been waiting to debut, right, to try and tease it out, just debuted this week, and you have to try it. I mean, it's not just because you're a drug addict, right, and you love it like crack, right? It's like, give me the caffeine, right? Yeah.
And right now,
it's also delicious.
For limited time only until midnight tonight, if you use code Madison, MADISON, you can get 10% off of Madisonian Morning on apforlibertyshop.com.
There you go. Get 10% off of your first box of Madisonian Morning by using your code Madison. So you've got to get that in today because I think the coupon expires tomorrow.
It expires tonight at midnight.
Tonight at midnight. So go to apforlibertyshop.com, put a box of Madisonian Morning in your cart, use the coupon code Madison. You'll get that discount and it'll be delivered right to your door. You'll love it. Okay.
Should we do the giveaway?
Do you want to do the giveaway right now?
Yeah. So we have this shirt. I'm not like other girls. I'm much higher on the FBI's list.
We always do a giveaway for people who are monthly subscribers to the show who make monthly donations. And so today's giveaway contest winner will be Tolly Owens.
She usually is watching. I don't know if she's watching this morning.
Well, even if she's not watching, then we will let her know that she won the contest for the I'm not like other girls. I'm much higher on the FBI's watch list.
This is going to look great on her.
And you can get that shirt if you want it at apforlibertyshop.com. We'll reach out to Tolly today just in case. She got a box of the Madisonian Morning. So
now in terms of subscriptions, just so people know how to do it. So if they subscribe on Rumble, does that count as a monthly subscriber?
If you're a monthly subscriber at rumble.com, then you are eligible for the monthly prize drawings. And you also get 20% off the shop.
Okay. So you get a special code.
Yeah. So if you're a monthly subscriber on Rumble already and you don't have your 20% off code, hit me up with a text or a DM and Twitter, and I'll send you your 20% discount code. So good incentives for you to be a subscriber. You get a little something back for your troubles at apforlibertyshop.com. All right.
Or if you don't want to subscribe on Rumble, you can go to wakeupAmericashow.com/support.
Exactly.
And you can also donate that way and become a subscriber. And then you can also get the same 20% off discount and be entered into monthly prize drawings.
There we go. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Give it up for Steffi P, ladies and gents.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, everybody.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Vladimir Putin Tucker Carlson interview. At the end of the day, I think that the real story from this interview is not the actual interview, but the media, the mainstream media's absolutely bonkers response to the Tucker Carlson interview, calling him a traitor.
Bonkers.
Well, this one triggered them even more. This one triggered them even more because a lot of these mainstream media reporters are jealous of Tucker Carlson. They wanted to get this interview. They've been trying to interview Vlad. No Western reporter has interviewed Putin since he invaded Ukraine.
Oh my gosh!
So this is a huge deal. It's a coup for Tucker Carlson. But at the end of the day, what I'm reading so far and everything I've seen, we haven't been able to watch all 2 hours of it. Is that it seems as if the interview is mostly a nothing burger, that there weren't any huge revelations, and everybody who believed what they believed confirmed their biases, essentially. If people were going to believe everything that Vladimir Putin said, they had already decided that they were going to believe him before this interview. Then people who believed that Vladimir Putin was a liar and that everything he said was a lie already confirmed that. They already believed that before the interview ever happened.
Right.
And now that the interviews happened, they're out saying, see, I was right. Everything that I believed was true. Right.
Confirmation bias.
So nobody's minds were changed.
No, I mean,
Right.
I have a bitter taste in my mouth about him in general, but I would be curious to hear what he sounds like just because I know he's such a powerful man. So it's intriguing to me.
I think probably the realest part of the interview and the part that I think Tucker Carlson deserves the most credit for, and I think that the bravest part of this interview is when he was pushing for the release of the American journalist. Because there's a journalist from the Wall Street Journal who has been imprisoned in Russia for over a year, accused of being a spy. And Tucker was trying to get him to release his hostage to take him back. And God, I wish he had done it.
That could be quite impactful.
Oh God.
Talking directly to a leader saying, release this person.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. And I give Tucker Carlson major kudos for that because and not only did he ask him about it, but he pressed him on it.
Absolutely.
Right. That was what people were so triggered by my interview with Bill Eigel a few weeks ago.
Oh, you were pressuring him on things.
Because, I would ask him a question. And a lot of times the way that reporters will like kiss a politician's ass or pretend like they're speaking truth to power is they'll ask a difficult question of someone and then they will let it pass. They'll like just let them answer.
They move on to the
and
next.
Then they move on to the next topic. That's how you know somebody's like either they're afraid or they really are just trying to pretend as if they are speaking truth to power.
Right.
Tucker Carlson did not do that in this portion of the interview. The problem is with the rest of the interview, Putin filibustered and was talking about history. It's kind of like a common tactic for Putin to just talk about irrelevant things from 300 or 400 or 500 years ago.
Like, hello, what about Ukraine? Let's talk about the relevant things.
Exactly. So here's what Tucker Carlson had to said. This is the bravest part of the interview, in my opinion.
I just got to ask you one last question, and that's about Evan Gershkovich, who's the Wall Street Journal reporter. He's 32. And he's been in prison for almost a year. And I just want to ask you directly if
we found a Russian person here in America who was doing the same thing as that journalist over there.
So another connection, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Forced behaviors, and at BlackRock we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Welcome back to the Wake Up America show with Austin Peterson. Nice to have you here. Rise in Freedom. I'm joined here on set by my lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson.
Good morning.
Yes. Guoka says the feed froze. Google's messing with you again. No, it was our fault. We do have two internet connections in the studio. Sometimes one goes down, so we hop over to another connection. We did that. Now we're back, and we apologize for that.
Sorry. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody.
Yes, we appreciate that. Do us a favor, if you've been enjoying the content so far, click like and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you come back and join us here every Monday through Friday. 7 to 9 a.m. Central is the show schedule. We're talking about Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin last night. What did he say? What was the conversation? I think the biggest moment that we just covered a couple of minutes ago was Tucker Carlson asking Vladimir Putin to release an American journalist who Vladimir Putin says is a spy. Tucker Carlson says is, but Vladimir Putin declined to release the Wall Street Journal reporter unless they get something in return, which is how most diplomatic situations go down.
I mean, at least the conversation has started.
Yeah,
He's saying, like, I'm open